Beloved, I tell you today that the key to shifting your finances is not hidden in some faraway place. It is not locked in the vaults of banks, nor reserved for the privileged few. The key may be sitting right before you in the simplest form, a single glass of water. Water is pure, it is life, it is the first creation's gift to man. But water is not only physical, it is spiritual. It carries memory, it responds to vibration, it mirrors belief. And just as it can wash away dust from the body, it can wash away doubt, fear, and lack from the soul. Take a glass of water in your hand and understand, it is more than a drink. It is a vessel. Into it you may pour your words, your faith, your vision of prosperity. Speak to it not with hesitation, but with bold declaration. Money flows to me freely. Every block is dissolved. Abundance is mine now. For words are power, words are creative. What you speak, you shape. What you decree, you draw near. And when you charge water with your words, you are charging life itself with the vibration of prosperity. You are speaking directly to your subconscious mind, where all wealth begins. Then drink. Drink with the expectancy of a king who knows his treasure chest is already full. As the water flows into you, it carries with it the seed of belief, the vibration of abundance, the imprint of prosperity. And it begins to reprogram every cell, every thought, every expectation within you. Do not despise the smallness of this act, for faith turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. A shepherd's staff can part a sea, a mustard seed can move a mountain, and yes, a single glass of water can change your finances forever. Each day, return to this ritual. Each day, affirm over your water, and let it remind you that money is not earned by struggle, but attracted by harmony. As surely as rivers find their way to the ocean, so does prosperity find its way to the soul that expects it. Seal this ritual with gratitude. Thank the unseen supply before it appears, for gratitude is the magnet that speeds manifestation, the evidence of faith in action. And soon, opportunities will flow to you like streams converging into a mighty river. Debts will dissolve, income will increase, doors will open that once seemed sealed shut. Because you dared to believe that something as simple as a glass of water, infused with faith, could unlock the gates of abundance. Beloved, your prosperity is closer than you think. Hold that glass in your hand. Speak life over it. Drink as if you are drinking wealth itself. For one glass of water can change your finances forever. Water has always stood as one of the most powerful and mysterious elements of creation, a silent force that flows through every living thing. It is purity itself, untouched in its essence, and yet adaptable to whatever vessel contains it. It softens the hardest rock, nourishes the smallest seed, and sustains the vastness of oceans and rivers. When we look at water not merely as a physical substance, but as a divine symbol, we begin to recognize its role as a messenger of higher truths. Water reflects life itself. It teaches us that abundance, prosperity, and renewal are not meant to be complicated. They are as natural as the flow of a stream. In the realm of spiritual manifestation, water becomes far more than a physical necessity. It transforms into a symbol of the unseen power that shapes our reality. When you gaze upon a glass of water, you are not simply looking at liquid. You are looking at a substance that is receptive, impressionable, and pure. Water has no resistance to instruction. It mirrors back what is spoken over it, what is thought around it, and what is believed within the heart of the one who holds it. This is why so many ancient traditions honored water as sacred, because they understood that it is both a physical resource and a spiritual tool. Think for a moment about the nature of water. It is transparent, revealing all and hiding nothing. It does not argue, resist, or struggle. Instead, it flows around obstacles, finding its way with effortless grace. In this way, it becomes a reflection of the ideal state of mind required to receive abundance. A heart free of resistance is like a river unblocked. It allows wealth, opportunity, and favor to flow without interruption. Water reminds us that when we let go of fear, doubt, and rigidity, we naturally align with the flow of prosperity. Water also purifies. Just as it cleanses the body of dust and restores freshness, it symbolizes the washing away of limiting beliefs that cling to the mind. Each time you drink, you can see it as an inward cleansing, a quiet reminder that lack and limitation do not belong to your true self. By using water consciously, with intention, you transform it into a spiritual cleanser that removes the debris of negative thinking and opens the channels of receptivity. A glass of water becomes a mirror of renewal, carrying away the residue of worry and making space for abundance to rush in. Beyond purification, water is also a carrier of memory. Scientists have discovered that water can hold vibrational patterns, responding to words, emotions, and even unspoken energies. When you speak affirmations of wealth, peace, and freedom over water, it receives those vibrations, holding them like a sacred container. The moment you drink it, you take those vibrations into your body, into your bloodstream, into the very cells that create your reality. The act seems simple, but in truth it is profound. You are not just drinking water, you are drinking belief, intention, and creation itself. Water also embodies the mystery of transformation. It can exist as solid, liquid, or vapor, shifting seamlessly depending on the conditions around it. Likewise, prosperity is not fixed. It takes shape according to the state of your consciousness. Just as water can turn to steam and rise high or freeze into ice and hold firm, so can your financial reality shift in alignment with the energy you project. Water shows you that change is not only possible but natural, reminding you that lack can dissolve, debts can vanish, and wealth can materialize when conditions of faith and expectancy are present. Consider, too, that water nourishes life silently. It does not boast of its power, yet nothing grows without it. Trees stretch toward the sky because their roots are fed. Fields yield harvests because rains fall in their season. In the same way, prosperity does not come with noise or struggle. It comes with quiet assurance, flowing into the lives of those who allow it. A simple glass of water can be a reminder that wealth does not need to be forced. It is sustained naturally when the inner soil of belief is fertile. To hold water in your hand is to hold a symbol of divine abundance. It whispers that all things are possible, that renewal is constant, and that every block can be washed away. It is both the symbol and the substance of prosperity, because it teaches surrender, flow, purity, and receptivity. And when you understand this, you will never look at a glass of water in the same way again. For within its stillness is a message. Abundance is as close, as simple, and as pure as the water that flows through life itself. From the very beginning of creation, the spoken word has held a mysterious and undeniable power. Words are not mere sounds drifting into the air. They are living vibrations, carriers of energy, and architects of reality. What you speak, you summon. What you declare, you invite. And what you consistently affirm, you eventually live. The spoken word moves beyond thought and takes form, impressing itself upon the invisible substance of life and shaping matter to match its command. This is why so many ancient teachings insist that life and death lie in the tongue, because every word spoken plants a seed, and every seed must bring forth after its kind. When you speak, you are not simply expressing ideas. You are sending forth creative vibrations that the universe must respond to. Matter itself, though it may appear solid, is nothing but energy vibrating at different frequencies. And words, when spoken with belief, carry their own frequency, one strong enough to align energy and influence matter. You have seen how words can heal or wound, how they can inspire courage or bring despair. If words can alter emotions and even the physical state of the body, then surely they can alter financial conditions, opportunities, and circumstances. The power of spoken word is not limited, it is universal and unfailing. Think of your words as commands given to the subconscious mind, that great silent servant which creates your outer world. The subconscious does not reason, does not debate, and does not question. It simply receives the impressions it is given and works tirelessly to make them real. When you declare, "I am prosperous, I am free, money flows to me easily," you are not simply saying nice phrases, you are programming your inner world to align with abundance. Over time, circumstances shift, doors open, and opportunities appear because your words have carved a path for them. Conversely, when people habitually speak of lack, of being broke, of never having enough, their words write a script that life obediently follows. The tongue becomes a tool of bondage or liberation, depending on how it is used. The spoken word also has the power to override doubt. Thoughts can be fleeting and scattered, but words bring focus and authority. Speaking aloud with conviction impresses both your mind and the atmosphere around you. It strengthens belief, it amplifies faith, and it dissolves uncertainty. This is why affirmations, prayers, and declarations spoken aloud have a deeper impact than silent thoughts. They engage not only the mind, but the vibration of sound, which carries creative force. When you stand and speak wealth into your life, you are not hoping, you are commanding, and matter, though it may seem inert, is compelled to obey. Consider how words can even affect water, plants, or the human body. Experiments have shown that water molecules change form depending on the words spoken over them. Harsh words create chaos, while words of love and blessing create symmetry and beauty. Plants thrive when spoken to kindly, and human health improves when affirmations of life and strength are declared. If the spoken word can shape molecules, influence growth, and affect healing, then surely it can call forth money, opportunities, and prosperity. For money itself is but energy, and energy responds to vibration. The reason the spoken word overcomes financial blocks is that it plants new seeds in the subconscious where old fears and beliefs once resided. Lack and limitation are only shadows of thought, and when you shine the light of affirmations upon them, they dissolve. Speaking words of abundance clears the inner soil of weeds and replaces them with the seeds of prosperity. The more consistently you water those seeds with your words, the more inevitable it becomes that abundance will appear in your experience. To speak is to release faith into form. Faith unspoken remains like a seed locked in the packet, full of potential but inactive. But when you speak, you give it soil, you give it air, you give it the conditions to grow. This is why declarations of wealth must be made daily, boldly, and with gratitude. Each word is a building block, each affirmation a stone in the foundation of prosperity. In time, the invisible structure you have spoken into being will manifest as visible supply. Remember always, your words are not wasted, your declarations are not in vain. Every syllable charged with belief becomes a command written upon the fabric of the universe. Whether you whisper it over a glass of water, declare it in prayer, or affirm it before sleep, your words are working, shaping, aligning, and bringing forth. Speak life, speak abundance, speak freedom, and watch as matter rearranges itself to obey. For the spoken word holds power over matter, and the moment you realize this truth, you hold the key to changing every part of your world. The subconscious mind is the hidden engine of life, the quiet force that shapes every experience and circumstance you encounter. While the conscious mind thinks, reasons, and debates, the subconscious accepts impressions without question and carries them into manifestation. It is impartial, obedient, and tireless, working day and night to materialize the ideas planted within it. This is why it has often been said that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, not because the fleeting surface thoughts control destiny, but because the deep impressions etched into the subconscious dictate what unfolds. When you understand this truth, you realize that the subconscious is not only a mirror, but also a magnet, drawing into your life the very conditions it has been programmed to expect. Consider how habits, beliefs, and emotions govern your daily actions without conscious thought. You may resolve to save money, attract opportunities, or build wealth. But if your subconscious holds ideas of scarcity, unworthiness, or fear, it will sabotage your efforts. It will orchestrate delays, create resistance, and align you with people and circumstances that reinforce its old programming. This is not punishment. It is simply the subconscious fulfilling the role it was designed to perform, to bring forth in the outer world the inner images it has received. If those images are rooted in lack, then lack appears. If they are rooted in abundance, then abundance appears. The subconscious does not differentiate between the two. It simply attracts what it has been impressed with, like a magnet drawing filings to itself. This is why rituals involving water, affirmations, and spoken word are so powerful. They bypass the chatter of the conscious mind and speak directly to the subconscious. The subconscious is childlike in nature. It believes what it is told repeatedly, especially when those words are accompanied by strong emotion. Speak to it with conviction, and it will accept your declaration as truth. Once accepted, it sets to work arranging conditions, bringing people into your path, and aligning opportunities in ways that seem miraculous. To the outer mind, it looks like coincidence or luck, but in truth, it is the law of the subconscious responding faithfully to the command it has received. The subconscious does not operate in isolation. It is deeply connected to the universal mind, the great supply from which all things come. When you impress the subconscious with images of wealth, success, and freedom, you are sending signals into the infinite, and the infinite responds in kind. The subconscious is like the soil into which you plant seeds. Whatever you sow, there will grow, whether it be weeds of worry or blossoms of abundance. The soil does not argue. It simply produces after its kind. Thus, if you desire prosperity, your task is to continually plant the seeds of prosperity within the subconscious until they take root so deeply that they bear fruit without effort. Think of the subconscious as a loyal servant who never rests. It remembers what you forget, holds onto what you repeat, and builds upon the foundations you lay. If you constantly repeat to yourself, "I can never get ahead," the subconscious takes that statement as a command and ensures circumstances align accordingly. But if you declare daily, "Money comes to me freely and abundantly," the subconscious begins to rewire itself, seeking ways to make that reality visible. In time, the old patterns dissolve, and new opportunities arise that were invisible before. The subconscious is also the seat of imagination, and imagination is the workshop of wealth. When you vividly picture yourself living in abundance, feeling the freedom, joy, and peace it brings, the subconscious accepts those images as present reality. And because it is a magnet, it begins to draw outer conditions that harmonize with that inner picture. This is why visualization is so powerful. It is not fantasy, but instruction. It tells the subconscious what blueprint to follow, and once given a blueprint, it will not rest until it is completed. The beauty of this process is that you do not need to know how your prosperity will come. The subconscious handles the how. Your role is simply to keep feeding it the images, words, and feelings of abundance, trusting that it will magnetize the right opportunities and align the right channels. Just as a magnet does not strain to draw iron to itself, the subconscious does not strain to draw money, success, or freedom. It simply does so naturally, in silence, with perfect precision. To harness this magnet, consistency is key. A single affirmation may not erase years of negative programming, but daily repetition, coupled with faith and emotion, creates momentum. Over time, the subconscious accepts the new command as truth, and once it does, no power in the outer world can prevent its fulfillment. The subconscious is faithful beyond measure, and when it is aligned with prosperity, it will work relentlessly to bring abundance into your experience. When you understand the subconscious as the money magnet, you stop struggling, stop forcing, and stop fearing. You realize that wealth is not something you chase, it is something you align with. The magnet does not run after iron, it simply draws it. In the same way, you do not need to run after money. You need only to reprogram the subconscious, and money will flow toward you as naturally as rivers flow to the sea. Faith is the invisible bridge that connects the seen with the unseen, the natural with the supernatural, the ordinary with the extraordinary. It is the unseen hand that transforms the simplest act, the most common object, into a vessel of divine power. Faith takes what appears insignificant and invests it with limitless potential. Without faith, a glass of water is just liquid, bread is just food, and life is just routine. But with faith, these everyday elements become infused with the miraculous, carrying the ability to shift conditions, attract supply, and reveal hidden blessings. Faith is the alchemy that elevates the mundane into the sacred. The world is filled with people who overlook the power of what is already in their hands, waiting for some great event, some grand opportunity, to deliver their abundance. Yet the truth is that everything needed for transformation is already present, hidden within the ordinary. Faith is what unlocks it. Consider the seed. It is small, common, and overlooked, yet within it lies the entire potential of a forest. Only when planted and nurtured does its greatness reveal itself. In the same way, faith plants divine power into ordinary experiences, and from them grows miracles. When you look at a glass of water and declare prosperity over it, faith is what makes that act more than symbolic. Faith charges the water with vibration. Faith transforms your words into commands that matter itself must obey. Without faith, the words are empty, the ritual meaningless, but with faith, they become law. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not yet seen. It takes what is invisible, the intention, the desire, the affirmation, and crystallizes it into visible results. Faith is not merely wishing or hoping. It is absolute knowing. It is the inner certainty that what you decree will come to pass. This certainty is what gives your words their authority. The subconscious responds to faith as a command, not as a suggestion. The universe responds to faith as truth, not as possibility. When faith is present, the smallest action becomes a trigger for unlimited blessing. Washing your hands becomes a reminder of purification. Lighting a candle becomes a declaration of illumination. Drinking water becomes the internalization of prosperity. Nothing is wasted when faith is applied, because faith transforms everything into a tool for manifestation. Faith also collapses the barrier of time. Without faith, one looks into the future with longing, always waiting for supply to arrive someday. With faith, one knows the supply already exists and is even now making its way into visibility. This sense of immediacy accelerates manifestation. Faith takes tomorrow's abundance and claims it today. It is the voice that says, "It is done," even when no evidence appears, and in that unwavering stance, circumstances begin to shift. Opportunities present themselves, debts dissolve, money flows, and solutions appear, because faith has demanded they do so. It is important to understand that faith does not need grandeur to function. It is not the size of the ritual or the complexity of the process that brings results. It is the belief behind it. Faith can turn a whisper into a decree, a pebble into a weapon of victory, or a glass of water into a magnet for wealth. What seems insignificant to the logical mind becomes powerful in the spiritual realm because faith adds divine energy to it. Faith is also contagious within your own being. When you begin to act in faith, even in small ways, you build momentum. Each result, however minor, becomes evidence that strengthens your belief, which in turn magnifies your manifestations. Soon, what began as a small act of faith becomes a lifestyle of expectancy, where every word spoken, every act performed, carries the weight of power. Life itself transforms because faith has turned every ordinary moment into an opportunity for divine expression. The extraordinary is not far away. It is woven into the very fabric of the everyday. Faith is what reveals it, what awakens it, what brings it into form. The glass of water on your table, the words on your lips, the thoughts in your mind, all are ordinary until faith breathes into them. And when faith is present, nothing remains ordinary. Every act becomes sacred, every word becomes creative, and every moment becomes filled with possibility. Faith is the golden thread that turns life itself into a continuous miracle, where the extraordinary is no longer rare but expected. Money does not flow where fear, doubt, and limitation have built dams in the mind. These barriers, though invisible, are powerful enough to keep abundance from reaching you. They are not made of stone or steel, but of beliefs, memories, and words repeated until they become strongholds. Removing financial blocks is not about changing the external world first. It is about cleansing the inner world of the residue that resists prosperity. Just as a river can be polluted by debris, your financial flow can be hindered by negative emotions, generational patterns, or unconscious vows of scarcity. Cleansing is the process of clearing away this inner clutter so that money, opportunity, and blessing can move toward you without resistance. Water, in its natural state, has always been a symbol of purification. It washes away dirt from the body, refreshes the weary, and restores vitality. But on a spiritual level, water can also wash away the false ideas and mental stains that keep you from wealth. Each time you use water with intention, whether drinking it, bathing in it, or simply holding it, you can allow it to represent the dissolving of lack and the release of blocks that have chained you to financial struggle. When you drink a glass of water after speaking words of abundance over it, you are not merely hydrating your body. You are cleansing your subconscious of old limitations and planting new seeds of prosperity. Many financial blocks come from childhood, when words of lack were spoken repeatedly and imprinted on the mind. You may have heard, "Money doesn't grow on trees," or "We can't afford that." And though those words were not absolute truths, the subconscious accepted them as laws. Later in life, these beliefs manifest as constant struggle, self-sabotage, or fear of success. Cleansing is the act of confronting these false imprints and washing them away through conscious declaration, visualization, and ritual. When you say, "I release every belief in lack, I am open to infinite supply," and you drink that intention with water, you symbolically and spiritually flush out the old residue, creating space for new wealth to flow. Financial blocks also form through guilt, shame, or fear tied to money. Perhaps mistakes in the past left emotional stains, or debts created anxiety that hardened into resistance. These emotions cling to the subconscious like sediment at the bottom of a river. Cleansing is necessary to stir them loose and let them dissolve. Water reminds us that nothing is permanent, that flow is natural, and that even the heaviest sediments can be carried away when release is chosen. Each intentional act of cleansing affirms that you are no longer bound by yesterday's mistakes. You are free to begin anew. Cleansing is not only about removing, but also about making way. Imagine a blocked pipe. Water cannot flow through until the obstruction is removed. In the same way, money cannot flow into your life if resentment, fear, or disbelief sits lodged in the subconscious. The moment cleansing occurs, flow resumes naturally. You do not have to force prosperity. You simply have to clear the inner channel through which it travels. This is why people often experience sudden breakthroughs after releasing long-held beliefs or emotions, because once the block is gone, abundance rushes in like water breaking through a dam. Cleansing also involves forgiveness. Unforgiveness is one of the greatest blocks to prosperity because it holds the energy of resistance and constriction. When you release those who wronged you and bless them, you set yourself free. The flow of life cannot move through bitterness, but it floods through love. Speaking words of forgiveness over water, and then drinking it allows that release to permeate every part of your being. As forgiveness cleanses the heart, money finds its way back into your hands with greater ease. Daily acts of cleansing can transform your relationship with wealth. Begin each morning by blessing a glass of water with affirmations of abundance. Then drink it with the conscious intention of washing away fear and doubt. End each night by visualizing water flowing through your financial life, clearing away obstacles and opening paths of opportunity. In time, you will notice that the old heaviness lifts, opportunities appear effortlessly, and money flows in directions you could not have planned. Removing financial blocks through cleansing is not about struggle, but about surrender. It is the gentle process of releasing what no longer serves you and allowing life's natural abundance to take its place. Just as rivers cleanse themselves by flowing, so does your spirit cleanse itself when you choose to let go. And when the blocks are gone, prosperity flows as naturally as water returning to the sea, unstoppable and infinite. Expectation is the invisible force that shapes the reality of wealth. It is not mere wishing, nor a half-hearted hope that something might happen if circumstances align. Expectation is the deep inner knowing that prosperity is already on its way, that the unseen has already formed, and that your only task is to prepare to receive. Just as a farmer plants seeds with certainty that they will grow, you plant the seed of prosperity with the soil of expectation. Without expectation, even the most powerful affirmations or prayers remain dormant. But when expectation is present, the universe aligns with your belief and rushes to deliver. Expectation is not passive. It carries with it energy, emotion, and confidence. When you expect something, your entire being moves in alignment with it. You begin to act, think, and speak as though what you desire is inevitable. In this way, expectation becomes the bridge between the unseen and the seen. If you expect lack, you unconsciously prepare for it. You tighten, worry, and brace for disappointment. If you expect abundance, you prepare for increase. You open, trust, and make room for overflow. Whatever you expect, you invite. This principle is reflected in every area of life. People who expect rejection often notice they encounter it. Those who expect success find themselves walking into doors of opportunity. It is not that expectation magically forces events. It is that expectation attunes you to the possibilities that match your belief and blinds you to those that do not. Your subconscious, which governs much of your reality, responds most directly to expectation. Speak affirmations all day long, but if your heart secretly expects failure, the subconscious will follow that expectation as its command. Speak affirmations with true expectation, however, and the subconscious will magnetize circumstances to fulfill them. Expectation transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. Drinking a simple glass of water becomes powerful when you expect it to carry your spoken words of wealth into your being. Making a purchase becomes an act of prosperity when you expect more to return to you. Paying a bill is no longer a burden when you expect that it is opening the way for greater circulation. Every action in life carries the energy of expectation. What you expect behind each action determines the harvest you receive from it. Expectation also determines the size of your prosperity. If you expect only to survive, you may have just enough to get by. If you expect to thrive, doors open to overflow. The universe meets you at the level of your expectation, no more, no less. This is why expanding your vision and daring to expect greater is vital. It stretches the subconscious and signals that you are prepared to handle more. Expectation is like the size of the container you bring to a fount. The water is infinite, but the amount you receive depends on how much you believe you can hold. Many people unknowingly sabotage their prosperity because they expect disappointment. They ask for blessings but secretly brace for lack. This contradiction confuses the subconscious and blocks flow. To shift this, you must train your mind to expect good, to expect increase, and to expect that life bends in your favor. Begin with small things. Expect parking spaces, expect pleasant encounters, expect minor financial surprises. As your faith builds, expand your expectation to greater wealth and opportunity. Soon, it becomes natural to live in expectancy of good. Expectation must also be unwavering. A farmer does not dig up the seed each day to check if it is growing. He trusts that in due time it will sprout. Likewise, you cannot speak prosperity and then uproot it with doubt the next moment. Expectation holds steady even when evidence is not yet visible. It says, "Though I do not yet see, I know it is done." This calm assurance keeps the soil fertile and the seed protected until it manifests. Expectation is not arrogance but alignment. It is the acknowledgement that you are part of an abundant universe and that prosperity is your rightful inheritance. It removes desperation because you are no longer begging for wealth. You are expecting it as a natural outcome of divine order. When you live in expectation, you radiate confidence, attract opportunities, and become magnetic to money. Every fortune begins as an expectation. Every breakthrough is born from the seed of belief that it is possible and already underway. Expectation is the seed of prosperity, and like any seed, once planted, nurtured, and trusted, it cannot help but bear fruit. When you choose to expect abundance instead of lack, you give life permission to multiply in your favor until your harvest overflows beyond anything you once imagined. Money is not drawn by strain, worry, or relentless effort. It responds to energy, vibration, and inner alignment. So many people believe that if they work harder, sacrifice more, and struggle endlessly, wealth will finally come. Yet they discover that no matter how much they toil, money slips through their fingers or comes with difficulty. This is because money is not attracted by the heaviness of struggle. It is attracted by the lightness of energy. The universe does not reward exhaustion. It responds to the frequency you emit. If your energy is rooted in fear, scarcity, or desperation, then even your most determined efforts cannot bring lasting prosperity. But when your energy radiates ease, joy, gratitude, and confidence, money naturally flows toward you, often in unexpected and effortless ways. Energy is the true currency of exchange. Your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs carry a vibration that shapes what you draw into your experience. Struggle emits resistance, and resistance repels. Ease emits trust, and trust magnetizes. You may have witnessed people who seem to attract wealth with little visible effort. They do not necessarily work harder than others. They work in alignment with the flow of abundance. Their energy is clear, open, and expectant, and because of this, money finds them. On the other hand, you may know people who push themselves endlessly, always striving, yet never moving beyond survival. Their energy is clogged with tension and doubt, and so money hesitates to stay with them. Money is energy itself, and energy seeks harmony. It does not want to live where it is resented, feared, or desperately clung to. It desires to circulate freely, to expand and multiply. When you treat money as a trusted friend, welcoming it joyfully, releasing it cheerfully, and expecting its return confidently, it stays close to you. But when you treat money as an enemy, fearing its absence, resenting its demands, or struggling to hold onto it, it keeps its distance. The energy you hold toward money is more important than the actions you take, for your actions are always colored by the vibration behind them. Struggle is rooted in the belief that there is not enough, that wealth must be wrestled out of the world through sheer force. This belief itself creates scarcity. It blinds you to opportunities, dulls your intuition, and makes life heavy. Energy, however, is rooted in the belief that the universe is abundant, that supply is infinite, and that you are worthy of receiving. When you carry this energy, doors open, ideas flow, and money appears through channels you could not have planned. What once seemed difficult begins to feel effortless, not because you are idle, but because you are aligned. Consider how water moves. It does not struggle to flow. It finds the path of least resistance and continues forward. Money moves in the same way. It bypasses the hardened, resistant, and fearful mind, and it flows toward the one who is open, receptive, and aligned. When you release the struggle and step into trust, you mirror the nature of money itself, and it cannot help but flow toward you. To embody this truth, you must shift from forcing to allowing. Forcing comes from fear, trying to prove your worth, trying to control every outcome, trying to survive through sheer willpower. Allowing comes from faith, trusting that as you align your energy with abundance, the right opportunities will meet you at the right time. Allowing does not mean idleness. It means inspired action instead of frantic struggle. It means following nudges of intuition, seizing opportunities that feel expansive, and trusting that the universe supports your steps. Your energy is broadcast in every word you speak and every thought you entertain. If you constantly declare how hard money is to make, you reinforce the energy of struggle. If you affirm that money flows easily and joyfully, you reinforce the energy of abundance. Energy responds faster than action because it is the foundation of action. Once your energy is aligned with wealth, your actions become powerful, effective, and fruitful. Money responds to energy, not struggle. The great truth is that you do not have to exhaust yourself to be prosperous. You do not have to live in constant strain to deserve abundance. You simply need to align your vibration with the flow of prosperity through gratitude, joy, expectancy, and trust, and then allow money to mirror back that energy in material form. The moment you release the heavy energy of struggle and embrace the lightness of flow, you step into the effortless dance where wealth is not chased but attracted, not wrestled but welcomed. In this space, money ceases to be a burden and becomes what it was always meant to be, a faithful servant responding to the energy you radiate. Wealth is not the product of one grand event or a single stroke of luck. It is born through daily consistency, the steady rhythm of thought, word, and action aligned with abundance. Every small step taken with intention compounds, creating momentum that grows stronger with time. Just as drops of water carve valleys in stone and steady footsteps cover great distances, daily consistency carries you from lack into overflow. The mind is like a field, and what you sow daily becomes the harvest of your life. If you plant seeds of prosperity each morning and water them with affirmations, gratitude, and right action, the momentum builds until wealth becomes the natural outflow of your state of being. Consistency is powerful because it establishes patterns, and patterns become habits. A single act of positive thinking may brighten your mood for a moment, but when practiced daily, positive thought rewires your subconscious into an unshakable magnet for abundance. One generous act may feel good, but daily generosity trains your energy to circulate wealth, inviting more to return to you. One affirmation may bring comfort, but daily affirmations saturate the subconscious, until prosperity becomes the only reality it recognizes. Wealth responds to patterns, not isolated bursts of effort. It is the rhythm of what you do day after day that sets the tone for your financial life. Momentum is built by repetition. Imagine a wheel that is hard to push at first. The effort seems heavy and movement is slow. But with steady pressure, the wheel begins to turn more easily, until eventually it spins almost effortlessly. Wealth operates the same way. At first, the practice of changing your thoughts, releasing fear, and acting in faith may feel difficult because you are pushing against years of old conditioning. But with daily consistency, the wheel begins to turn. Negative beliefs loosen their grip. Prosperity becomes easier to accept, and opportunities flow with less resistance. Soon, the momentum is so strong that abundance seems to come without effort, though it was your consistency that set it in motion. The power of daily consistency lies in its ability to train the subconscious mind. The subconscious does not respond to occasional declarations. It responds to repeated, steady instruction. Each day that you affirm abundance, visualize prosperity, and act in alignment with wealth, you impress upon your subconscious the truth that money is natural and available. In time, this truth takes root so deeply that your external life has no choice but to reflect it. The subconscious thrives on rhythm, and daily practices create the rhythm that shapes destiny. Consistency also signals faith. When you show up daily to speak affirmations, to bless your money, or to expect increase, you demonstrate that you truly believe wealth is inevitable. This faith strengthens the energy you send out, and the universe responds. Inconsistency, however, signals doubt, like planting seeds but failing to water them. Daily consistency proves that you are committed, that you trust the process, and that you are ready for the harvest. Even small, consistent actions carry immense power. A glass of water spoken over daily can transform your energy. A journal entry of gratitude each night can shift your vibration. A moment of visualization in the morning can set the tone for opportunity all day. These practices may feel simple, but when repeated without fail, they build an inner current so strong that prosperity cannot resist flowing toward you. Wealth is not built in fits and starts. It is built in the quiet, steady repetition of faith-filled actions. Momentum created through consistency also expands beyond money into character. Daily acts of discipline, gratitude, and vision shape you into a vessel capable of holding greater wealth. The universe will not pour abundance into a container that cannot hold it. Consistency enlarges the container, proving that you can handle more. The habits you form daily become the foundation of the life you are trusted with tomorrow. The truth is that wealth is not a sudden windfall. It is the compounding result of what you do, think, and believe each day. Daily consistency is the spark that becomes a flame, the trickle that becomes a river, the rhythm that becomes unstoppable momentum. The more consistent you are, the stronger the flow becomes, until prosperity is no longer something you pursue. It is something that pursues you. Momentum is the reward of faithfulness, and once it is built, it carries you forward into greater and greater realms of abundance without the struggle that once defined your path. Gratitude is the sacred seal that locks manifestation into place. It is the final stroke that completes the picture of abundance, the invisible glue that binds the unseen to the seen. When you give thanks, you affirm that what you desire is already yours, even before it appears. Gratitude is not just an emotional response. It is a creative force. It shifts the vibration of the heart, aligns the subconscious with fulfillment, and opens the door for prosperity to take form. Without gratitude, the energy of manifestation can remain unfinished, like a letter written but never sealed or sent. Gratitude closes the circuit, ensuring that the blessings you call forth are anchored into your reality. The power of gratitude lies in its ability to transform perception. Where others see lack, gratitude sees provision. Where others see obstacles, gratitude sees opportunity. This shift in sight is not trivial, it is foundational. The universe responds not to what you say you want, but to the energy you embody. Gratitude embodies completion. It declares that the manifestation is done, that there is no more waiting, striving, or doubting. By giving thanks now, you live in the vibration of having, not wanting. And as the law of life dictates, like attracts like, so having invites more having. Gratitude seals manifestation because it removes resistance. Doubt, worry, and impatience create cracks in the container of your desire, causing energy to leak out. But gratitude fills those cracks with trust. It says, I may not yet see it with my eyes, but I feel it within me. It is mine. This certainty solidifies the manifestation, just as wax seals secure a letter so it cannot be tampered with. Gratitude keeps your desire safe from the corrosive effects of fear and disbelief. Consider how water responds when you speak gratitude over it. Scientists have shown that intention and emotion can influence the crystalline structure of water. When gratitude is expressed, the water reflects harmony and beauty. Since your body is largely water, and since money itself carries energetic vibration, gratitude literally restructures your inner and outer worlds to match abundance. Each time you drink water infused with words of thanks, you seal manifestation deeper into your subconscious, ensuring that it takes root and bears fruit. Gratitude also multiplies manifestation. When you express thanks for what you already have, you create an energetic invitation for more to arrive. The act of being grateful signals to the universe that you recognize and value the flow of abundance. Life responds to appreciation by sending more of what you appreciate. This is why those who live in daily gratitude often seem to attract constant blessings. They are sealing every manifestation with the magnetic force of thanksgiving. The seal of gratitude must be applied consistently. Just as a farmer waters his fields daily, gratitude must flow continuously to nourish and protect your desires. A single moment of gratitude is powerful, but daily gratitude creates an unbreakable shield around your manifestation. Even when appearances seem contrary, gratitude declares, "It is already done." This faith keeps your manifestation alive, vibrant, and inevitable, no matter how long it takes to appear in physical form. Gratitude also harmonizes you with divine timing. Often, people grow restless when manifestations seem delayed, and in their impatience, they weaken their energy. Gratitude keeps you anchored in peace, trusting that what is yours cannot be withheld. When you live in gratitude, delays no longer feel like denials. They become part of the unfolding. Gratitude seals the manifestation not only by affirming its completion, but by keeping you steady until it arrives. Every prayer, affirmation, or visualization must end with gratitude if it is to be fully complete. To speak abundance without giving thanks is to leave the door half open. To affirm wealth without gratitude is to write the promise without signing it. Gratitude is the signature on the contract between you and the universe. It declares, I accept this manifestation as mine. I honor it. I rejoice in it. Once gratitude is given, nothing more is needed. The manifestation is sealed and will unfold in its perfect way. Gratitude is not just an afterthought. It is the crown of manifestation. It is the assurance that what began in thought is completed in form. It transforms your energy into a magnet that draws prosperity without effort and ensures that every blessing you call forth is not only received but remains. Gratitude seals the manifestation, making it unshakable, undeniable, and unstoppable. Once sealed with thanks, your prosperity is guaranteed. Testimony and proof in action are the living demonstrations of spiritual law at work. Words and affirmations carry great power, but when those words are lived out and manifested in tangible results, they become undeniable testimony. Testimony is not merely a story told. It is evidence of divine principles made visible in the material world. It is the living proof that faith works, that spoken word shapes reality, and that the unseen responds to belief. Each time someone steps into prosperity after practicing truth, their life itself becomes testimony, inspiring others to trust and apply the same principles. Proof in action is the highest form of teaching because it shows that what was once theory has now become reality. When you share testimony, you confirm not only to others, but also to yourself that the law is reliable. It strengthens the subconscious mind, which thrives on evidence. The subconscious can be reprogrammed by repeated affirmations, but it is most powerfully reshaped when it sees proof of results. A financial breakthrough, an unexpected opportunity, or the manifestation of a long-desired dream serves as proof that your energy, words, and faith were effective. Every success, no matter how small, becomes a stone in the foundation of unshakable belief. Testimony fuels momentum, turning faith into certainty. Proof in action also silences doubt. It is easy for the critical mind to argue with words, to dismiss affirmations as wishful thinking. But once results appear, argument ends. The doubting voice grows quiet in the presence of evidence. This is why testimony is vital. It anchors belief and drives away uncertainty. Each manifested blessing declares, "This is real, this works, the law is alive." With proof in hand, you no longer need to defend your belief. The results speak louder than any explanation. Testimony also acts as a multiplier of blessings. When you recognize and declare what has manifested, you magnify it. The act of acknowledging your proof through gratitude and testimony attracts even more. Just as gratitude seals manifestation, testimony amplifies it. To testify is to proclaim the reality of your blessings, and this proclamation sends a signal to the universe that you are ready for greater demonstrations. Silence, on the other hand, can diminish the impact of a manifestation because unacknowledged blessings lose their momentum. By declaring your proof, you reinforce your alignment with abundance and open the door to more. Testimony is not limited to great events. Even the smallest shifts matter. Finding unexpected money, receiving a kind gesture, or noticing synchronicities are all forms of proof in action. These signs are evidence that your vibration is changing and that prosperity is aligning with you. The more you testify about small proofs, the more your subconscious accepts abundance as natural, and the larger manifestations flow without resistance. To dismiss small proofs as insignificant is to miss the seeds of greater miracles. Testimony honors the seed, knowing it will grow into a tree. Proof in action also inspires others. Hearing testimony awakens faith in those who doubt and strengthens those who believe. When others see prosperity unfolding in your life, they are encouraged to step into alignment themselves. Testimony is contagious. It spreads belief and ignites courage. Many lives are transformed simply by witnessing the proof in someone else's journey. Your testimony is not only for you, but also for those who need a living example that wealth, healing, and blessing are possible. Testimony and proof in action require boldness. It is easy to keep quiet about blessings out of fear of judgment or disbelief from others. Yet silence robs both you and those around you of inspiration. To speak boldly about what has manifested is to give glory to divine order and to confirm that the laws of abundance are universal. Your testimony is a gift. Withholding it diminishes its power. Sharing it multiplies its effect and plants seeds of faith in countless hearts. Ultimately, testimony and proof in action transform abstract truth into lived reality. They bridge the gap between belief and knowing, between hope and certainty. They affirm that the spiritual is practical, that the unseen governs the seen, and that words spoken in faith always return fulfilled. Each time you testify and recognize your proof, you deepen your trust in the flow of life, and you strengthen the rhythm of manifestation. Testimony and proof in action are not the end of the process, but the continuation of it. They fuel greater manifestations, inspire others, and build a life where prosperity is not a possibility, but a certainty.